In this video, we're going to be going over how to stop worrying and take control of your life. And one of the reasons I believe a lot of people worry all the time, especially, they feel like they're not in control of their life, that life is just happening to them, is because of what they are consuming and allowing into their mind. And so the other part of this video that I titled it was to stop corrupting your mind. I'm going to be going over the main ways that most people corrupt their mind, which leads to worry, which leads to not feeling like you're in control. And it's completely unnecessary to feel this way. Guys, worry is not a necessary emotion for the most part. And at the very most, it's something that you might be feeling a very small fraction of the time in the day or throughout your day, if at all, on some days. So in this video, I want to be going over how you really can stop worrying and take control of your life. So that's coming up next. Hi there, my name is Dave, and this is HeartSpace, where we are releasing videos almost every single day to help you live life more in your way. To me, that really means to be able to live life on your terms, to live in a free way, to be able to live in a fulfilled way. So if you want to have more videos that are going to help you be in that energy, give you ideas on how to do that, give you practical ideas as well that you can implement right away to help you do that, then hit that subscribe button and bell icon down below so you don't miss any videos that we release. Now, again, in this video, I want to talk about how you can stop worrying and really take back control of your life, because we all do have an element of control in our own lives. Now, there are definitely things that are outside of our control, but so many people sacrifice their power, their own empowerment. They give up their own ability to have influence in their own lives unnecessarily. And I think things like worry and stress and fear are some of the main contributors to that. And all of those things are easily avoidable and preventable, and I'm going to be going over that today. So yes, we have the board back as always, and I put on here simply stop corrupting your mind, because I believe it's what happens in here, what happens internally, that leads to this external worry or fear or panic or lack of feeling in control that so many of us go through. And so I want to give you some tools, some mindsets, some philosophies that can hopefully help you to really start to take a little more responsibility of your own life, to get back an element of control, at least over the things that you can control, and to especially stop worrying, which is a completely unnecessary, it's not even really an emotion, it's really an unnecessary mind disease that so many people go through on a near daily basis. And so one thing we have to understand is that the main cause of worry is going to be so many of these things that I'm going to reveal to you today. You know, we're not born coming into the world worrying. We're not naturally worrying. It's not really our natural programming to just worry all the time and be stressed and be in fear. Now, fear is a natural emotion that was used to make sure we didn't get hunted by predators or another tribe, or when we were more tribal, the things within nature that could do us harm. And so we had a natural fight and flight response. We had a natural fear mechanism. We have it in the brain. It's called the amygdala. It is the fear center of the brain. But it was never meant to be in operation 24/7. It was never meant to even be something that you would engage with during most days. This again was for those moments when the tiger was around the corner. Your amygdala would start going like, hold on a second, I'm getting a little bit of a fear response here. There might be a lion over there that's going to eat you unless you fight or flight, you move away. And then maybe if you're forced to fight, you have to give in to that point where it allocates all of your energy in your body to fighting rather than, other things that you need to be doing. This is why stress is such a damaging thing, because if you're in fight and flight, all of your energy is being allocated to things that would help you survive, but that means energy is being taken away from other functions in your body, like your digestive system, your immune system. Fear suppresses the immune system because it was never meant to be turned on 24/7 or a lot of the day. And so one of the main causes of worry are some of these things, is the corruption of your own mind that allows you to feel worried all the time, which makes you feel like you're not in control. And so let's go over what those are without further ado, is consumption. And no, I'm not just talking about food consumption and water consumption. You don't just consume through your mouth. You consume a lot more. Anything that goes within you is something you can consider consuming. You consume light. Light gets absorbed by the body. You consume light when it goes into your eyes, and then you get an image of what's going on in the external world when light comes in, right? And so you're consuming in more ways than just eating. Now, if you're eating like crap, that's also something that can lead to worry and anxiety and stress and just poor health in many different ways. The body is connected to the mind, to your emotional state, to your spiritual well-being. It's all, just different moving parts of a whole. And so if one is out of balance, most likely all of it will eventually be out of balance. There's a quote I really like, a really fun one called, "If you piss in one part of the pool, you piss in all of the pool." So even if you piss on the health side of the pool, it's going to eventually seep into the other areas. It's not quartered off. It's all one thing. It's all one body of water. And so when one part starts to go, everything starts to fall out of whack, out of sync. It's why balance is such an important thing. But the specific consumptions I want to go over that really elicit worry and stress and really corrupt your mind, which is what we're going over in this video, is things like information. You have to understand that your brain is picking up on information 24/7. You may not know it, but your subconscious mind is picking up on millions, I think it's even more, bits of information every moment. Every moment, your subconscious mind, even right now as I'm creating this video, my subconscious mind is picking up on the patterns and shapes around me, on the noises, on every sensory data that it possibly can, a million times over. It's the things that are going on in my body, within it, outside it, the thoughts, everything. Your subconscious mind is dealing with all of this information. And that's going to become important once I get into these other things. The consumption of things like television, the news, this would fall under the category of information. What kind of information is the television giving you? The things that you're specifically watching. How about the news? Is the news eliciting fear and worry? Is it? Is it something that's making you feel good about yourself or terrible about yourself? Remember, guys, we are energetic beings. And so the emotions we are in play a huge part in our lives. If we're always in a fear state, you're going to operate in a different way than someone who's always in a love state. And the energy of love. And energy is proven to be a higher emotion and more energetic emotion, a healthier emotion to be in than, say, fear or hate or anger. So what are you consuming in that way? Social media. I threw porn in there as well because that's another very addictive one that shapes a lot of how we think. It knocks our dopamine receptors off, right? And so you have to look at this information that you're consuming and ask yourself, how does it affect you? Because people look at information, and because it's just someone conveying an idea or giving you a perspective or really trying to sell something as truth to you, that it's harmless. That's just like this person's perspective, this person's idea. But your subconscious, especially repeated ideas, will be absorbed into the subconscious without you knowing it. And so if you are exposed to information repeatedly, the same kind of information, your subconscious will start to take that information and form similar beliefs around it. If, for example, the news is presenting information that is based in the energy of fear, and everything is energy, guys. That means every time someone speaks, every time information is presented, there is an energetic resonance that it gives off. And you are absorbing that resonance when you consume it. In the same way that if you eat Burger King every single day, you are consuming whatever the makeup of that food is, and then your body's using that. Versus maybe eating something organic and eating healthy, and then your body is able to use that. It's the same with your mind. Your mind will use what it is given. And so if it is given the Burger King equivalent of information, fear, anger, information that divides people, that tries to say we're all separate, tries to say, eye for an eye, this person did that, so this person should be able to do this. That kind of information is like going to McDonald's every day, eating it, and expecting to have a healthy body. You will not have a healthy mind if you are consuming constantly information of fear, hate, or lower emotions. We've gone over the consciousness scale, the Hawking's consciousness scale or scale of consciousness. Anything below 200, and 200 is courage, which makes complete sense because you need courage in today's world to elevate yourself upwards. Because most of the world, guys, I think it was 85%, was the last one I read, is below the level of 200, which is catabolic, where the emotions, the energies above 200 are anabolic. And just to give you an idea of what falls below the line and above the line in the catabolic emotions are emotions like shame, guilt, fear, anger, pride, hate, jealousy. These are emotions that fall below 200 and are considered catabolic. And catabolic means destroying. It means life destroying. It's like basically it eats itself, destroys itself, chaotic. Above 200 is anabolic, which means life preserving or life supportive. Meaning, of course, if you're in the energy of love, you are not only supporting, the goodness of your own life, but you're probably spreading that out into the world. I mean, how many times have you watched a video where it seems like two opposing sides come together, come to an understanding, or have a very human moment, and it just feels right to you? I was watching a video today because there's all these protests that have been going on, especially in America, and it was a police officer hugging someone who was at a protest, a peaceful protest, who was just in tears because of just everything that was going on. It was overwhelming, and the officer was trying to console this person and giving him a hug. And it's these kind of moments that really speak to this higher version of ourselves, this version of ourselves that knows we're all connected, this version of ourselves that knows that at the end of the day, our ultimate truth is love, connectivity, that we are much better together than divided apart, that the hate, the violence, the fear, the shame, the guilt does not serve us, nor is necessary. And so why I mention that is because you have to take an audit on the information you are consuming. Because the only way you are going to hate another person, the only way you'll look at something and go, these people are awful and need to be taken down, or you know what, it's us versus them, is if you have been put into a fear state, an anger state, or something below the level of 200. And you might not even know that it's been going on. It's not how you naturally even are. But if you've been consuming information on social media is huge as well, on TV, the news, and it's feeding you fear, it's making you scared, it's making you feel guilty or shameful. Guys, no one who has your best interests at heart will ever try and deliberately make you feel any of those emotions. Not a single person who has your best interests at heart will try and make you feel shame or guilt or fear or anger or pride or jealousy. They won't. Because no one above the level of 200, no one that comes from a place of love or peace or togetherness would ever dream of trying to spread information that divided people, because they're just not in that energy. It wouldn't even be something that even comes into their thought process. And so, what can corrupt your mind is the information that falls below that category. And so one thing I tell people all the time, stop watching the news. The news clearly has an agenda. It wants to make you feel a certain way, and usually below the 200, right? You only need to turn on any news station to figure that out. And it might be more malicious, but at the end of the day, the simple reason could just be they want more clicks. They want more views. They get more money that way, more advertisement. And then there are theories that it's much more nefarious, which we could go over and we may go over in future videos. But at the very least, they don't have your best interests at heart. At the very least, they want to bring in more viewership. So they sensationalize things. At the very worst, they're pushing their own agenda. Combination of the two, probably. But that means it's not worth your time to consume. It's not going to help you in your growth as a person. It's not going to help you in probably being the kind of person you want to be. And so you really need to take a look at the information you're looking at. And so this does not just mean the news, guys. This means TV. What kind of information are they giving you in TV? This means your shows as well, your sitcoms, your movies. What is the message of the movie? Are they trying to be like, oh, relationships are supposed to look this way? Have they influenced you in that way? Does it look like, oh, you know what? All these new agendas are coming out in these movies these days. Look at what you are watching. I don't really watch movies anymore because I realized that it was almost like they were trying to brainwash me to think a certain way. And I was like, I don't want this. I don't want to passively watch a 2-hour thing that, they entertain me, but at the end of the day, they're also trying to shape my mind a little bit, and I can feel it. Social media is another one, guys. Social media is the one I struggle with the most. And so what I do is I only subscribe to people that I know fall beyond that level of 200, that are anabolic, life-supporting. So the only people I try and follow are the ones that are coming from a place of love, that are spreading truth, spreading messages of love, spreading togetherness. And the great thing is, too, when you find yourself in these communities and you go into their comments, you can see a huge difference between the comments of the people who are coming from a place of love versus the people that are coming from a place of hatred, coming from a place of envy or jealousy or shame and guilt and fear and anger, because you attract what you are. And of course, people will slip through the cracks as well, but that's a really good indicator as well. So in social media, make sure you're following people that make you feel good, that put you in a place of love. This is not to feel delusional. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying to avoid things that need to be brought to the light, but to instead follow people that help put you into the light, that follow people that help put you into the best version of yourself, because every single person on this planet has a version of themselves that is filled with love, togetherness, peace, calm, connectiveness, cooperation, contribution, self-love. That exists within everyone. And follow the people that help you get closer and closer to that. Follow the people and consume the information that helps you, and you can feel it, you can connect to this kind of thing, that helps you to be the best version that you possibly can be. The one that isn't only concerned about their well-being, but yes, you should take care of yourself first. You cannot give from an empty cup, but you can give a lot from a cup that's overflowing, right? So start with that self-love. But you'll eventually get to a place where it becomes more than just you. You'll come to a place where you realize that we're all in this together, and that's not just some weird adage that people say. It's a very real thing, and you'll be able to connect to that. I mean, why do I make these videos, right? You know, some of these things that I say could be considered controversial. People could call me whatever for saying them. But I make them regardless because I really believe in this stuff. I really feel this to be true. I've really experienced this stuff, and I know a lot of other people do too. And if this video, for example, can have one person come out and go, you know what? This speaks to me. I'm going to start moving in this direction. Then it's a success. You know, being able to show people that there's much more to you than what the news tells you or the TV tells you. There's much more to humanity as a whole than what all of this tells you. Sometimes we just need to take a step back and look at what's going on from not the perspective of the perception you're being sold through all of this, but actually take a step back and objectively look at what's happening. And when you start doing this, guys, you will be incorruptible. These things will not affect you anymore. And so I've spent a lot of time on that. Let's move on to this thing right here, which is very important to understand, is the seeds you sow will be the fruits you grow. Most people's minds are corrupted and think in a way that doesn't serve them. Most people find themselves in worry, stress, fear, anger, resentment, envy, jealousy, pride, more often than not, because the seeds they sow, the seeds that they allow into their mind are of fear, are of anger, shame, and guilt. Of all of these things. The things they consume water the seeds of fear that they've already planted. So if you are sowing seeds of worry, you're constantly having worried thoughts, and then you are consuming things that perpetuate that worry. You can think of this as watering the seeds of worry. So you have these ideas that come in, and then you start thinking, yeah, there's so much to be scared of. Look at all this stuff happening in the world. I should be in fear. I better like be wary of people. I better just be in fear. You're planting those seeds in your mind. And then because you're in that place, you go watch the news, and there's all of these new things for you to be worried about. You're watering that seed now. Now it's growing. Now that seed is growing because you are constantly watering it with the stuff you are watching on the news, on social media, the movies you're watching, everything, the TV. So what seeds are you consuming? What seeds are you sowing? What seeds are you watering? Because at the end of the day, guys, I want you to remember this, is where focus goes, energy flows. And the seeds in your mind, the water to the seeds in your mind is energy. The energy you give, the whatever you put that energy towards is what will grow in your mind. If you want to stop corrupting your mind, if you want to stop worrying, if you want to stop fearing, if you want to stop being in anger, whatever it is, stop planting those seeds in your mind and stop consuming the things that water those things, because what you focus on will grow. Where focus goes, energy flows. Almost forgot it there. Where focus goes, energy flows. And so if you're focused on the news, fear this, worry about that, this politician this politician that. That's the seed you're growing, guys. That's what's going to grow. Where focus goes, energy flows. That's where your energy is going to be consumed. And I can't imagine what my mind would be like if I watched the news, TV, was on social media all the time. I get it. I probably would be in worry all the time. I would be in fear. I would never be making stuff like this. I can tell you that. I don't know what I'd be making. But that's the thing, guys. Getting rid of worry isn't about adding things into your life. Maybe you can add a meditation in there. That might come about naturally, something like that. But a lot of it is to remove certain things from your life. And so if you find yourself constantly worried and stressed, the first things I would look at is just getting rid of the news if you watch it. Stop watching TV, especially if you're watching normal cable. All of that stuff is primed to make you feel these lower emotions. Social media, at least limit yourself. I'm a creator on social media, so I can't, for the most part, get rid of it completely. But I limit myself. I try and limit myself to only watching people like this, who are talking about these ideas, people who are talking from a place of love. When I'm online, I have specific people I follow, and I just go directly to their website so I can watch them without getting suggested all of this other stuff that tries to knock me off the trail I'm on. So that would be the first thing, guys. And just remember, the seeds you sow are the fruits you grow, and where focus goes, energy flows. That's just the way of the universe. What you put your attention on is ultimately what you're going to cultivate in your life. And if you feel like you're in worry all the time and your mind's corrupted and you're having all these thoughts you don't want to have, that's the first place to look. So I hope this has been helpful to you guys. I don't remember everything I said, which is always a good thing because I know that means I was more in flow, which is what I wanted. I'm a bit more laid back today. You probably could tell I had played football yesterday for the first time in a while. It's pretty intense, so I'm pretty on the mend, so to speak, so my energy is a bit more laid back. But anyway, guys, I hope you got something out of this. I really hope you'll use it, you'll take it to heart, and you'll apply it, because I would love to hear that more and more of you are moving from a place of your heart, moving from a place of love, moving from a place of possibility, moving from a place of divinity, because it's available to you. And once you start removing the things that are trying deliberately to put you in emotions that make you forget of how amazing you truly are, once you do that, the only thing you can do is rise. It's like having I'll just leave this and we'll go. It's like having a helium balloon and you have all these weights on it. All you have to do is remove the weights and the balloon will rise. You don't need to add anything. You need to remove a lot of the time. So that's going to be it, guys. As always, I love you, and I will see you in the next video.